Magandang araw mga kababayan. Once again, welcome to our channel. For today's video, I will be discussing all about proof of funds or yung tinatawag ding show money. Now, pag-uusapan natin kung ano nga ba yung requirements for proof of funds. Also, I will be discussing kung ano ba yung tinatawag na sponsorship. And also, I will be explaining ano yung tinatawag na GIC or Guaranteed Investment Certificate. Now also, I will be comparing ano nga ba yung actual na gastos over sa proof of funds na kailangang i-present. And again, just a disclaimer, hindi po kami professional immigration consultants. Ito po ay base sa naging personal research and naging experience namin in doing our own application. So kung interesado ka to learn more about proof of funds, panoorin mo ang video na to. Now, ano nga bang tinatawag na proof of funds or mas kilalang show money sa iba? This is going to be one of the vital component of your application. So, importanteng maiposisyon natin ito ng maayos to avoid refusal ng application. As per IRCC or Immigration, Refugee and Citizenship Canada, this is how you will show or prove that you have sufficient or enough money to study or settle in Canada. So it can be a major ground for refusal if in any way you fail to prove that you are financially established or financially ready for this particular pathway. Now, IRCC have set the minimum funds required for this particular endeavor, which is 1 year tuition fee and 1 year cost of living. Now, for the tuition fee, of course, it will vary depending on the school and program na kukunin mo. And that it doesn't matter kung 2 years or more yung program na kukunin mo, kailangan mo lang ng 1 year tuition fee to satisfy your minimum requirement. Now, for the cost of living, it will depend sa number of family members na isasama mo. You should have at least 10,000 Canadian dollar for primary applicant, which is the student, an additional 4,000 Canadian dollar for your OWP or the spouse or tinatawag na common law partner. Also, if you have kids, you need to have an additional 3,000 Canadian dollar for each additional dependents na isasama mo. Now, on our end, as a family of 5, as a minimum requirement, that's gonna be the tuition fee, 10,000 Canadian dollar for 1 year tuition fee sa NBCC or the New Brunswick Community College. And then 10,000 Canadian dollar for our main applicant, which is the student, an additional 4,000 Canadian dollar for the OWP or the spouse, and then additional 9,000 Canadian dollars since we have 3 kids included in our application. And that's a total of 33,000 Canadian dollar as per our minimum funds requirement. Now again, this is just a minimum requirement. So kung may idadagdag ka pa, mas maganda so you can further establish your financial stability or financial capability. Now, as a proof of your available funds, you can simply present bank statement, which is normally 4 to 6 months of the statement, or simply provide bank certificate. On our end, we just simply provided bank certificates to show the total funds available that we have. Now, along with that, we have provided as well supporting documents such as COE, ITR, and payslips just to justify kung saan galing yung pera. Now, kung nakabayad na kayo ng tuition fee, you can simply submit the tuition fee receipt as a part of your proof of funds as well. Also, if you have acquired a GIC or Guaranteed Investment Certificate, you can simply provide or submit the certificate itself. Now, take note, this fund should be liquid, meaning withdrawable or readily available anytime. Now, time deposits cannot be included unless you have certification that it can be withdrawn anytime. Also, hindi pwedeng isama yung mga assets as a proof of funds like kotse, alahas, or lupa o bahay unless ibinenta nyo yung mga assets na to and yung pinagbentahan nilagay nyo sa bangko. Otherwise, those assets should fall only for your home ties. Also, as per our research, you need to avoid bulk deposits because it can be a red flag. Baka isipin ng visa officer, dineposit lang yung amount na yun just for the sake of your application. However, kung hindi maiiwasang magkaroon ng bulk deposits, you can simply provide documentations to justify saan galing yung pera. It can be a donation or simply pinagbentahan ng mga ari-arian. Now, in the event na kulang yung personal savings nyo, dito na papasok yung pagkakaroon ng sponsor. Especially yung young individuals na wala pang capability to establish ng ganong kalaking pera, you can simply have a sponsor. Now, ang tanong, sino ba ang pwede maging sponsor? Actually, kahit sino pwede maging sponsor. It can be a relative, your parents, or simply a friend, provided meron silang justifiable reason why they will support you. Pwedeng maging 100% yung support ng sponsor sa'yo, or pwede rin namang sa tuition lang, or sa cost of living, or simply sa accommodation lang. Now, you need to provide documentations to show the willingness of the sponsor to support you and also their financial capability to support you. Now, they need to provide affidavit of support. Kung notarized, mas maganda. It would also be a good point kung ma-specify kung ano yung isusupport sa'yo, either tuition fee, accommodation, or the cost of living. Now, they also need to provide documentation to show their financial capability. You can simply provide their bank statement or bank certificate along with their COE, ITR, and payslips if available. Now, let's talk about GIC or yung Guaranteed Investment Certificate. Now, ito yung pag-open ng bank account sa Canada designed for a student pathway in particular while you are still in the Philippines, in which magde-deposit kayo ng certain amount, which is normally minimum 10,000 Canadian dollars and more, na pwede nyo ma-withdraw once nasa Canada na kayo in a staggered payment, meaning you will receive a certain amount of money monthly for a certain period of time. As per our research, having GIC would be a great way for you to show your financial capability sa visa officer, considering readily available na yung pera pagdating mo ng Canada. But of course, it will not be an assurance for your approval as well, since there would be some factors to be considered for your application. By the way, since we're talking about GIC, there will be two ways para mag-apply ng student visa sa Canada. It's either you do regular stream or the SDS or the student direct stream na tinatawag. Now, the major difference of doing student direct stream is that you are required to have GIC to cover your cost of living. Along with that, you need to pay 1 year tuition fee right away, and also you need to have an IELTS. However, if you will be doing regular stream, hindi requirement yung tatlo na yon. So, nasa sayo na kung gusto mo mag-open ng GIC. On our end, pinili naming hindi mag-open ng GIC since we're doing the regular stream as well, and also to avoid the hassle of refunding the funds deposited for GIC if ever hindi kami ma-approve, just to be safe as well. Now, also talking about the funds, magkaiba po yung proof of funds and your actual expenses. For proof of funds, ito yung amount and documentation na kailangang makita ng visa officer for us to establish our financial capability in doing the student pathway, covering the tuition fee and the cost of living in Canada. While yung gastos, ito yung actual expenses that we will incur in doing our application. Ito yung mga expenses na kailangan nating bayaran prior and during the application. This will include yung cost sa pag-apply sa school, pagkuha ng LOA, pagkuha ng mga required documents, pagpa-medical, pag-biometrics, at pagbayad pa ng other fees necessary sa ating application. Now, I believe those will be the information necessary for you to know regarding the POF or proof of funds. Now, if you will be having any further questions or any additional information regarding the proof of funds, you may comment down below. And you might want to consider subscribing sa channel namin. This will be a great help for us as we start this journey to Canada. Now, hanggang dito na lang. Hanggang sa muli. Thank you for watching.